Hi, I'm Amanda Agnew.
And I'm Rob Lennox.
And we're here at McConnell's of Doak, and today we're going to be talking to some local musicians.
Indeed, aye. There's some big tunes they play, and a wee of stories as well. So stick with us. We've got a pile for you.
We're joined by Colin and Janet Henry.
Hello.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Thank you.
So you share the same surname, so that means there's a connection there. Husband, wife?
Correct.
Yeah. But you also play music together. Have you been playing together for long?
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been playing together 27 years.
Oh, boys, a brave while then.
Yes, absolutely.
And here you haven't done what the Beatles have done and had like musical differences and had arguments and all of them. Like had many agreements.
We don't have any musical arguments as such because Janet here is such a perfect musical ear that I learnt very early on. There's no point in arguing because I will lose.
All right. I'll see.
That's about the only thing though.
I'm good on the setting up the equipment, and she leaves that to me.
Yeah.
But I leave the musical end of it to her.
So on you go. On you go. Aye.
Was it through music that you guys met?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
through band.
Yeah. There was a band that Colin was in, my brother was in, and they were rehearsing before I was in it. But then it was my brother's suggestion to come down because I was a singer and I would love this, and I did. And I ended up then being in the band, a wee band called Bird Dog, which was like a fusion of bluegrass and jazz. It was sort of like jazzy stuff played on bluegrass instruments, and
Wow.
it was super. Yeah, it was great. So and that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
There you are. So tell us about the music that you play then. Can you describe it to us?
Well, I would write a lot of my own music. I suppose influenced by a lot of Americana artists. Just with my acoustic guitar, that's the way I would write a song. But would do a few covers now and again, depending on what it is I'm doing, you know. But mostly I like to sing with my guitar and keep it simple.
Yeah. And yourself, Colin, what do you play?
Well, my musical influences are very broad, but I thought I might make a good songwriter because I'm quite good with words and stuff like that. So I tried to write a couple of songs, and they were absolutely appalling.
Oh no.
They were far too complicated in the lyrics. I thought I was being smart, and they just were not good. And in fact, it was one time when Janet wrote a song, which was a really nice song, and I said, "Show me the words of the song." And when I actually looked at them on the page, they were so simple. You know, and I suddenly thought, actually, that's the key to it, is get the idea across very simply and keep it simple.
So tell us about the first song that you're going to perform for us.
Oh, that's called Then There's You. That's on my last album I did called Going Home, and all the songs in it I wrote myself. So that one is it's really, I suppose, about having that special person that's in your life, that when things aren't going so well, or you're having a rubbish day, or whatever it is, you're just feeling disillusioned or down in the dumps, there's the one person that matters. So it's really about that, yeah.
I should probably explain to you the instrument that I play on it. It's called a Weissenborn guitar, and it's originally an Hawaiian guitar. That instrument that I'll be playing is actually made in about 1927, 1928, so it's very, very old.
Yeah.
But it has a lovely soft sound, particularly with a singer.
Oh, looking forward to hearing this now. Aye.
It's a beautiful thing.
I'm tired of running, not getting anywhere. running out of breath, running out of air. And the nights are long, not getting any sleep. Even in the day, the dark is just as deep. Doesn't matter how I feel it, or if my heart is black and blue. When I think there is no reason, then there's you. The road to get perfection is a long and lonely ride. Some roads shine and sparkle, still I'm not satisfied. My failures come and grip me, stop me moving on. You help me rise above, find where I belong. Doesn't matter how I feel it, or if my heart is black and blue. When I think there is no reason, then there's you. Doesn't matter how I feel it, or if my heart is black and blue. When I think there is no reason, then there's you. Then there's you.
So how do you decide which dobro to use in a particular song? Is there a sound that you're going for?
Yes, there is actually. The Weissenborn is a softer sound. It's wood-bodied and it's hollow. Completely up the neck is hollow. So the whole body of the guitar, including the neck, is a sound chamber. But it's very, very light sound, and therefore on a soft song with a soft voice, it's nicer. The dobro is much more of a tougher upfront sound, but it can be very sweet too. And it just, whatever I feel suits the particular music, you know. And
Yeah, I suppose a lot of that would like change your technique even as well.
Yeah,
in playing that,
yeah.
Depending on song to song and how hard you actually play.
yeah,
things like that. Yeah.
the Weissenborn, you wouldn't what we describe as digging in.
Aye.
You wouldn't dig in as much. But to be honest, when you're playing a dobro, if you're playing fast, upfront bluegrass music, you're hitting it pretty hard.
You have to. Aye.
You know, they would need very little amplification in its own right. But again, when you're playing with a singer, you can just overpower that. So you have to be very careful as to what you do, you know.
Yeah.
Janet, do you find when you're playing with other musicians, when you have to go back to playing solo again, you really feel the kind of the...
Yeah, it's sort of very bare, isn't it? It's, you feel quite exposed, yeah.
So you're very fortunate to be surrounded by and such amazing musicians as well.
Oh, absolutely. And yet too, the solo guitar voice thing is lovely as well. You know, it gives a dynamic, especially if you're doing a set of a few songs. You could maybe strip it right back, and then you just have very few instruments, you know, and then bring the whole band in again. It's always good sound then, yeah.
So obviously being from here then, would being from Ulster influence your music as well? Would you write a lot about home? Some
songs really evolve themselves, and sometimes it would have a story to tell because it's maybe something that someone has told me, or in my job I meet a lot of people who would talk to me about their situation, and so I have quite a lot to sort of grab from that and turn into songs, you know, from other people's experiences. So that gives me quite a lot of
I see. A lot to draw from then.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Do you find it easier having your co-writing opportunity as you are a couple? Do you find it is a hindrance or a help to have another musician?
Well, for the musical side of it, I think it's great, you know, because I could be writing something and it all sounds like, yeah, that's what I hear and that's what I want. But then Colin would say, well, hold on till I go and get the dobro, and I'll, you know, and all of a sudden that could take it completely somewhere differently, or it just adds so much more sparkle. So I think it's actually great that there is a guy in the house who can play banjo and guitar and dobro. And our son, he's banjo and guitar as well. So, you know, I'm very blessed, very lucky to have that in the house, you know.
That's the only drawback, actually, from having two musical people in the one household, is that when we would get a gig, then we have to get a babysitter. There isn't one of us left behind to look after the kids. And when, as you can imagine, the money for gigs anywhere these days is not that much. And by the time you've paid a babysitter and paid petrol, there's not much left. That's really the only drawback.
But now the kids are growing up and, you know, doing their own thing. We got dogs, so we still need somebody to remind them, so always tied.
So you were talking about Americana and bluegrass being an influence then, obviously, and that's well connected to the Ulster Scots music scene. Yeah. I'm sure you would have like a level of influence then from Ulster Scots music in your own writing and playing.
Oh yeah, very, certainly in the playing.
Aye.
I mean, I was just telling the story there earlier on that I was on the internet watching a discussion between Americans on the origins of bluegrass music, and as these things are on the internet, it can get very heated. Yep. And it was getting more and more heated, and I was what they call lurking. I wasn't actually contributing. And then it got to the point where I thought, well, I've got to say something here. And I typed in and I said, chaps, you're completely forgetting the real origins of bluegrass music, which is Ulster Scots and Irish music, Scottish music. And this guy came back immediately, and I've never forgotten the line. He said, just because you bred the cow doesn't mean you invented the hamburger. And I've never forgotten that. And I've said, if I ever write a book, that's going to be the title of it. But so yes, the answer is I'm very into bluegrass music, and its origins are, you know, when you play it, very obviously coming from Ulster Scots and Irish music, you know, and there's a lot of crossover even today, you know, with the tunes and stuff.
And then when you write, you know, instrumentals, a lot of the time they're very like Scottish waltzes.
Scottish, yeah. There's something in my brain. My grandfather was a Dalzell, which is Scottish, and there's something in my brain that continually goes back to Scottish sounds and music. And it just happens, you know. And as you say, when I write a lot of waltzes, they come out like Shetland waltzes and stuff like that, you know.
They are. Actually, you can even hear that flavour coming through the music, and it's just natural. Yeah. It just happens.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah, absolutely.
Although my grandfather, none of my family played music, except my grandfather, who played the fiddle and the piano. Not incredibly well, I have to say, but he had the uncanny ability, my grandfather, to play with his left hand on the piano in the key of G and his right hand in the key of C.
Oh, right.
And every so often, because they're related keys, every so often it would be okay. And then every so often it wouldn't be okay. And you'd think, is that nice? I'm not sure whether that's nice or not. I kind of inherited that, I think, actually, a little bit of that, playing in different keys.
That's not easy to do that.
No,
You
it
have to
wasn't.
practice
He
that.
was, and he was completely oblivious to it. But I've inherited his fiddle, so there.
And is that in the key of C? Or is that in the key, what key?
No, it's in A or D are the two main keys of
there
the
you go.
fiddle. One of the tunes we're about to play actually is an old bluegrass standard. It was written actually in the 1940s, called Sunny Side of the Mountain. But it's a very well-known bluegrass tune. We play it a lot slower than the bluegrass band would play it, but it's an old bluegrass tune.
There's a singer called Will Merring, and she does it like the way I will be doing it. And when I heard that, I just thought that is such a beautiful song, because when you hear it full on bluegrass, banjo in your face, it's just, it just flies there. But when you actually strip it right back and listen to it, it's a really beautiful song, yeah.
Sometimes when you slow these things down, you can get a new appreciation
Well,
for them.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of bluegrass tunes, particularly instrumentals, that are played flat out.
Aye.
That when you take them right down and give the melody time to breathe,
Let it sing.
really. And there's so many bluegrass instrumentals and to Irish music as well. If you take it right down and slow it down, and all of a sudden you discover stuff in there that you didn't know existed.
There you are. So just relax yourself. That's
That's right.
That's it.
Don't forget me, little darling, when I'm growing old and gray. Just a little thought before I'm going far away. I'll be waiting on the hillside where the wild red roses grow, on the sunny side of the mountain where the rippling waters flow. Don't forget about the days we courted many
So Janet, what would your influences have been in music?
Gosh, well, growing up in a house, I can't remember that there was never music when I grew up. So it goes right back to mum and dad playing country music, Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Jim Reeves, all that stuff. We grew up on that. And then mum and dad were actually musicians. You know, mummy sang and dad played, and they actually went out as a duo and had wee residencies down County Down, and so there was always music. And then as I got older, I loved listening to Gordon Lightfoot, John Denver, Emmylou Harris, Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles, all of that stuff that was just like, wow, you know, this was a sound that I just adored, and it was kind of so influential that it was a dream nearly to, if I could one day, you know, play guitar and sing and do that, it would just be the best thing ever. So wasn't long, to about 12 or 13 I probably started to learn the guitar. My dad showed me a few chords, and then I was living under the shadow of my older brother, who was like a monster player, who's just unbelievable acoustic guitar player. So it was like I would always do it hiding away from him, you know. So I never felt very confident in my guitar playing. So that's why I was always better just, I was the singer, you know, the singer in the band and did the singing. But later on in life, when I was done doing all the band things and whatever, and I felt that I still wanted to do music, and Colin and I, we were kind of thinking, what will we do? And we tried various guitar players, and they let you down. You can't have somebody. So I thought, I'm going to have to go back and take it up again and learn it. And it was probably in my early 40s that I started to songwrite properly, you know, really think about it and really see how it developed. And you think it's easy, but it isn't. And it never ends being something that is an ongoing, you keep creating and making it different and getting better. I don't think it ever really stops. So that's really how that all happened, and you know, so still doing it.
So a lot of your influences though have music with story attached to it.
Yes.
That's what I'm finding. So would you find that with yourself then?
Yes, that's kind of what you're trying to portray or tell a story through your lyrics, and find a good melody that suits it as well.
There you are.
Do you sit down, the two of you, and write together?
No.
With that purpose? No.
Oh, will it come to blows if it ever did? Oh, here.
We have actually written a couple of songs together long time ago, but
well, actually, your songwriting goes starting was it. I can tell you the origin of it. It was a wet bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can remember sitting, and we had a conservatory with a plastic roof and had wet things hitting off the roof. And Janet said, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "Why don't you write a song?" And she said, "You can't just sit and write a song." And I said, "Yes, you can. Let's try it." And that was the first one, Gone, we wrote together. Yeah,
that's right. So
There you are.
but then, as I say, I stopped.
So what's next? What's ahead for the both of you?
I don't really know. Just whatever comes along. I think there's something going to be happening in March time for International Women's Day, and I've been asked to do something there down in Desert Creek in Cookstown, so I'll be looking forward to that. But just
A lot more writing and
a lot more writing and
Yeah.
doing what I can.
There you go. So can you tell us about the next number that you're going to sing for us here? What's this next one?
Oh, it's called Scared. I never really know how to describe this song. I suppose it's like be careful what you wish for, or if you have a feeling that you're going to get in too deep about something, just
Ooh.
kind of vibe. And
sounds
I remember
mysterious,
I remember the day that I started to write it, and I wasn't feeling very well. I was getting over a flu or something like that, and then I found this chord that had a strange sound to it, a dissonant sound. I thought it was nice, and I thought it was a bit spooky as well. I thought I need to use this in it, and it just evolved from that. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, here I can't wait to hear more from you in future. So there'll be folk keeping an eye out for them for now, I'm sure. Well, thanks a million for watching Ulster Unplugged, and I'm sure there'll be a pile more great music and good tunes for by. So thanks a million for watching.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Driving in my car 100 miles an hour to get away from you, switching off my phone so I can be alone, away from you. Ooh, you don't know what you do to me, Ooh, you don't know, you're scaring me, scaring me. 50 calls a day, but I don't want to talk. I'll get my fingers burned, I've been here before, don't want to get caught. My lessons learned, Ooh, you don't know what you do to me, Ooh, you don't know, you scaring me, scaring me. Driving in my car 100 miles an hour to get away from you, switching off my phone, stopping that ringtone that says it's you, that says it's you. Ooh, you don't know what you do to me, Ooh, you don't know, you scaring me, scaring me, scaring me, scaring me. Ooh, scaring